Welcome back to the Shoeless podcast, and we the podcast heard round the world. The Nets lost. The Nets lost.
And the Knicks are on a 2-game winning streak.
But we'll talk about that later. However, a lot of news this week for you guys. We got the NFL rushing through the playoffs, games galore, and legends leaving the game. And then we've got a little bit of NBA news turmoil that turned not so good looking tonight, and another situation where a player was a little disrespected. But we'll get into all of that later. But first,
you didn't even talk about Deshaun Watson yet, which I feel like you should have.
I don't want to talk about anything.
I didn't expect you to do it. But before we get into
anything Knicks related either.
I mean, well, too bad you're outvoted. Anyway.
Bad team. Anyway.
Had a flag that says otherwise.
We'll get into it a little bit. But before we get into any content, Obi's been practicing. You gotta make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're here. Like, comment. Of course, you gotta follow us Twitter, Instagram at Shoeless Joe's Pod right here. So go follow that, and get at us. Let us know what you want to hear. And without further ado, let's get into the contents. Zay.
We would also like to congratulate our new president and vice president, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I think we should give it up.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Oh, wow. Okay. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have decided where we stand politically. So now, without any more further ado.
If it wasn't clear already.
I'm saying.
Let's get into some NFL news. It was a big weekend full of big games, and now will leave us at the conference finals for the AFC and the NFC. It was an exciting weekend, 4 big-time games. So which of the games that happened this weekend, which was your favorite to watch?
Oh, that's a good question.
Favorite to watch? Probably the Packers and Rams game. I don't think.
For me, it was definitely the Cleveland Chiefs game, just to see how that whole game unfolded. Especially down the stretch when Mahomes got hurt. That was a really interesting game to watch.
I think the best game I did watch was the Ravens and Bills, but I was definitely most excited to watch the Buccaneers and Saints.
So let's start off with the Buccaneers and Saints then. A game that was very talked about, a matchup that was very talked about because of the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time playing in that game. Both looked to not be at their same level heading into this game, but the question really was another test for Brady. What does he do now? Like, what does he do in the playoffs? Like, people are already trying to rewrite the narrative of him, Belichick, and whatever he does this postseason only furthers that or negates that. So what did you guys think about that matchup, and were you surprised by the outcome?
I wasn't surprised by the outcome. Slant Mike got exposed.
Oh my
catches.
goodness.
Sure. it's factual. But anyway, Drew Brees, it's a great career, but can't throw a football anymore. When Michael Charles can throw a football farther than you, there's a problem.
I mean, I could throw a football farther than most, so it's not really.
All right. Well, let me interject on the cap. Real quick. I was the only one of the 3 of us who picked the Saints to win. I thought they could get it done, not knowing about Michael Thomas needing so many surgeries on so many different parts of his body. But we'll forget about that. Him sticking it out for Drew Brees. So, all right, yeah. So he lied about, but yeah, like you said, Drew Brees just didn't have it in him this game, and it was kind of sad to watch. And it's good we didn't have to see an entire season of it. After I forgot who gave him one of the craziest body shots and killed his ribs, and we got to watch Taysom Hill take over.
David.
Oh, in this game? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Levante David to put him out.
Yeah, that's crazy. But no, yeah, I think it was a rough one. I think the Buccaneers, pulled it out. Drew Brees threw 3 picks, I think. They gave them too many opportunities to win the game. And
That
I mean,
belongs.
you can't turn over the ball. You can't turn the ball over that much and expect to win the game, especially not in football. It's not going to happen. So that was sad to watch.
And even with those turnovers and stuff, like the Saints were in that game well into the fourth quarter, and so like that would be a whole. It's not like Brady and company were dominating that game from start to finish. It was kind of like every time the Saints were up for even most in the first half. So I mean, they really like kept giving them chances, like you said, and then that really just came back to bite them because they didn't have enough firepower, especially with Thomas being shut down like that. Drew couldn't really make the throws that we're accustomed to Drew Brees making, and it really just it didn't turn out to be the matchup that we all expected in terms of firepower.
Wait, I want to say this. I want to say this for the future of the Saints. I think the Jameis Winston Taysom Hill tandem that they could combine together under Sean Payton, I think with that offense still could be pretty explosive. Which I think they should have gave him more of a chance in the end of the game. Maybe Jameis. I mean, you can't do that to Drew Brees in a playoff game. But if you
Last
really
game,
want to win, if you really want to win, though, I don't know. I would have gave Jameis a chance. He did throw the one touchdown in that game, so maybe like switch up the play call a little more. But without Taysom Hill, they can run the ball with the quarterback. They can control clock. There's more control over the game. They didn't really have that with Drew Brees having to sling the ball so much, and Kamara couldn't get it anywhere.
Yeah, and before we get into the next topic, congratulations to Mike. Perfect picks. Congratulations.
I
I
expect
would have,
not.
I would have joined you on
Salute.
that, but I decided to do some last minute changes that come up.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
You bet on black.
And he let him
Never
down.
bet on black.
You let him down. I mean, I guess that's a great segue. We could go into Bills Ravens. I mean, that was my favorite and most anticipated game of the week heading into the weekend. I mean, Lamar coming off his first playoff victory. I mean, Josh Allen and the Bills playing the way that they've been playing. It was really supposed to be this amazing matchup. And for the first half, it was really just a defensive battle. I mean, you could have kind of seen that coming. Two great defenses. The style of play that they both want to establish with running the ball, both with their quarterback. It was like a perfect matchup, like almost a mirror image. What did you think of that game? What did you think of Lamar's performance? And what do you think about the Bills heading into this AFC Championship game against Kansas City?
Um, that game, like I said, it was a last minute switch for me. At first, I had the Bills winning that game, but then I decided to go with my gut and just let Lamar have it. And the Ravens let me down. They squandered too many opportunities. The first two drives, couple missed field goals as well from Justin Tucker, which was like unheard of. I feel like the Ravens, they really had a chance, and then Lamar got hurt, and they need to do something about that center position.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Those like I said, like those key mistakes, because I thought the Ravens pick wasn't looking that bad throughout most of the game. Like
Right.
they had a chance to win that game. Lamar Jackson throws that pick six in the red zone, which is a killer. Like they go down and drive, they tie the game up at that point, I think. So
Was it a fourth down when he threw that pick six, or was it just like a regular third down? 'Cause
I think it was third or
he was
something. I knew
holding.
they had another down.
I don't think he was holding. Like it was trying to be a quick read, and they just trapped him into throwing that ball.
Because he relies on those tight ends too much. I guess he needs more help on the outside, but also his throwing isn't, up to par with the rest of the league. Definitely better than Drew Brees, though. Sorry. Legend.
I mean, like, and those kind of plays in playoff football are just absolute game changers. Like, the play itself is huge, but the momentum that creates, especially in a stadium with actual fans in it for once time this season, like, was it like I think it was like 6,000 fans in Buffalo or something like that, like a large number of people. So the whole momentum of that game completely shifted at that point. And I mean,
I was gonna say I actually forgot on that pick six, like um yeah, your boy Edmonds, bro. They were like he was all over the field. Like they were sending like plenty of blitzes, making Lamar uncomfortable and stuff. And that pick six, because he was so uncomfortable with those blitzes, they sent a bluff blitz, and Lamar had time in the pocket. That's what I was saying. Lamar had time. He did have time, but he let it go early because he thought they were blitzing, and they just picked that shit over. That shit Like it was a great game plan by Buffalo.
And the thing even too about the game in total is that like with if you pencil down those Justin Tucker field goals, which he usually makes, all of a sudden that drive at the end with Hundley is a drive to tie the game and not just a meaningless drive, and that's crazy to think about when I think if you talk about Justin Tucker, it's been as sure thing as you can get at that position over the last 5-10 years at least. I remember like even like when New England was still at the height of their powers and with Baltimore.
Tucker was
When he hit that game winner when they went to the Super Bowl against San Francisco that year, he's just been as reliable as they come. So, I mean that has to hurt for Baltimore, and it just kind of feels like they're back to the drawing board again because they've been in this position now for 2 years now, like being that team with the expectations come playoff time and trying to figure out to take that last step. And I guess that's a great segue to the next AFC game because the Cleveland Browns were in a position trying to do the same thing. I mean, this was their first playoff. They come off their first playoff victory in a couple decades, and they show up against against Kansas City, and they're really battling. They played solid. That Higgins fumble at the goal line has a lot of people talking about the rule. So maybe that's a good place to start. What did you guys think about that play? What do you guys think about that rule? And how that impacted that entire game?
I don't think it was. I don't know. I think it was a great play, from what I saw. Like it's kind of bang bang. Like he stopped him at the goal line. I mean, you lose a game like that, of course you're going to be salty. You know, Patrick Mahomes goes out. It's your chance to win the game. Chad Henne, is in the game. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
And I don't know. Just the play call by Andy Reid. I thought the Chiefs really showed guts ending that game. I hope Patrick Mahomes can come back fully healthy though, for the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to watch full game, but I was able to watch most of the end of the fourth. Like you said, it's pretty gutsy play call by Andy Reid. I really didn't think they were going to snap that football, but who's Tyreek Hill on a speed out?
I mean, even people talk about that call, but the call before that, after Henne got sacked, it was like 3rd and 15, and usually like there was about the play before that was like 2 minutes. They would just get to the 2-minute warning. So you would think that they would just run the ball, punt the ball to Baker with a minute left and see what happens. But they were even willing to pass on that down, which led to that Henne scramble for like 14 yards, which is like, if he throws an incomplete pass there, then all of a sudden Baker has 2 minutes to go down the field. Like, it's just putting that much faith. If that's Patrick Mahomes, it's like, oh, like, all right, we get it. But having that much faith in the backup quarterback is very impressive. I mean, and executed to perfection. And on the rule thing, I think like people have been talking about changing that rule for a long time, just because like it just seems so tedious and like it doesn't really make sense. But I mean, when that happens to you, that changes the game from 19-3 at halftime to 16-10. And I mean, when in a game you lose by 5, I mean, of course you're going to think about that, but the rules are the rules, I guess. I mean, I don't think it should be a rule. I think it's kind of tedious, but like, I don't know what the alternative would be.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's there for a reason, though.
Yeah, I feel like that rule is perfectly fine. That's just ball security. You gotta take care of the ball. If there's always gonna be that risk diving for that end zone. So,
like people always like, games always come down to the wire, especially in the playoffs and stuff, because you have the best teams competing against the best teams, and people always get mad at the calls from the ref. I mean, like the pass interference for the Saints and the Rams game, but like 2 years ago, that call is definitely egregious. But not usually. Like when you play by the rules, like, the whole thing after the game is guys don't really complain about those calls from the refs, because the thing is, you're not supposed, like, if you don't want that to happen, you're not supposed to put the refs in that position. You got to win the game.
And I mean, like every time, like these things happen to it. Remember this? I remember 2 years ago, this happened to the Jets twice in like 4 weeks. With like Austin Seferian-Jenkins against the Patriots, and that was like a big story because there was like a debated one. But like once it happens in the playoffs, it automatically becomes like a 10 times bigger story. Like if that happened in the fourth quarter and not the second quarter, it would be talked about 10 times more than it was already. But that was a great game. Baker played well. Like that was not on Baker. I mean, he only had like 1 or 2 drives with Mahomes out, and I mean they went 3 and out. But I mean, you can't. He held them in that position against a Chiefs defense who we know makes plays in big moments. So I mean, I feel like Colin Cowherd can't have that much to say over about Baker this time. And I guess that leads us to our last game, the Rams at the Packers at Lambeau Field, a game that we were all excited to see because the skill position matchup. I know me and Obi were watching Jalen Ramsey and Devontae Adams very, very closely. But man, Rodgers looks good. He would have had another touchdown if Lazard didn't drop that one too.
He made up for it though.
Oh yeah, he definitely did on that 54-yard touchdown.
Beat the whole defense, the whole secondary.
They're heading into a matchup with Tom Brady, and that's a matchup people have been wanting to see in playoffs or Super Bowl, obviously because AFC, NFC, but for years. So having that matchup now, what do you think about that game? And then we can use that to transition into our previews for the upcoming weeks. What did you guys think about Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers?
Their D-line, Kenny Clark and Zadarius Smith were getting after it. And they were saying that was the first game they had the trio of running backs with Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, and I'm not sure
AJ
Dillon. I wasn't really familiar with AJ Dillon, but bro, he's a tank. He was making those big plays. I feel like not a lot of teams were familiar with him either because he wasn't really in the lineup like that, and maybe he caught Rams off guard. But yeah, that Jamal. If you ask me, that I was about to say Jamal Adams, Jalen Ramsey, and Devontae Adams. Like Devontae Adams' stats don't come off crazy, but if you were watching it closely, like I was watching it, he was just low key being a decoy for the defense because Ramsey was getting open. He wasn't even shadowing, and like that's why you saw like the play action opening up for like the other guys like Alan Lazard and
Marquez Valdez-Scantling
and VS, one of the fastest guys with no hands in the NFL.
No arms.
No, yeah, that was a good. I didn't really watch a lot of that game. Like you missed the Kansas City game, but I mean, I guess on Devontae Adams, like him being a decoy. I mean, you have to. That's what I've like always been amazed of by football is like star receivers like that who, you have to double and you build defenses for when guys still put up numbers. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he was still putting up numbers
because like to defeat an entire team defense set against you is ridiculous. Like they don't do that in any other sport really because they can't. You got to worry about too many people. But like guys who can do that are different. And I think Devontae Adams really had a big year this year. With everybody talking about them drafting Jordan Love and not really getting help for Aaron Rodgers.
I just wanted to throw in this last thing. I love Jalen Ramsey as a corner, but the best corner in the league, Jair Alexander. I've been on this horse since the beginning of the year, and that man, you know how many yards he let up for when he was nearest receiver?
-3.
One catch.
That's crazy.
Come on, man. I'm pretty sure he was shadowing Robert Woods too. Like, bro, they're saying like that whole dime defense that they run with. Bro, it's just him on an island, and then they put everybody else in the zone. Like, that's cool.
And the thing with that entire matchup, one thing about like the Devontae Jalen Ramsey thing was like there was so many times where even when he didn't get the ball, he just completely embarrassed him off the release. Like I forgot one play he ran a slant, the ball didn't even come to him, but he like started off the line and Jalen Ramsey jumped like he was running an out and he ran a slant. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then like you saw like, and you could tell that Devontae was getting the better of him because like on that play where he was yelling on the sideline after the play, like he was
like 3 times.
Yeah, but he was upset because like that play is not on him and he knows it's not on him, but he's just tight that like Devontae's getting the better of them as a team. Because like obviously that's like if you're running a motion like and you're running that kind of route, that's all play calling. That's not really a one-on-one matchup kind of thing. But to see that frustration build up shows how badly he wanted that matchup and how frustrated he was with the results.
They all wanted that game really bad. They had video footage. This is the world's strongest man we're talking about. They had video footage of Aaron Donald crying on the sideline. Crying. Yeah, I didn't even think that man was capable of
But
crying.
wasn't that because of like he's playing through like a torn
Oh yeah, and he was
something
hurt.
for like the
He's
whole
playing.
year? Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it's still because he lost, though. I don't
Yeah,
think he was
but I
crying
think
from,
no,
No,
from
it wasn't.
pain.
no,
It
no,
wasn't
Listen,
no,
the whole year.
listen.
That rib.
I don't think he was crying from pain.
no. I know that.
I don't think pain brings that many
No,
tears.
pain of losing while pain.
Wins and losses. Wins and
Yeah.
losses.
Nah, pain of losing to the pain of the actual pain. But also from like the Packers standpoint, like the way that they held up against that like front seven of Los Angeles is
Bro, without Bakhtiari
Bakhtiari.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
like it's
like
so promising because like that's Tampa Bay's game. Like we know Todd Bowles from the Jets days loves to bring pressure. Like Levante David, Shaq Barrett, like they love to bring pressure. So knowing that and seeing how they fared against a team with Aaron Donald, I mean Tampa Bay it better be in for a shootout if they want to win this game.
I mean, Aaron Donald didn't. To their defense, Aaron Donald didn't play a lot of snaps,
Right.
but I mean, their D line is still pretty solid.
Yeah, they still got Brockers. Brockers is a beast as well.
Yeah.
On that note, we touched on this a little bit before we get to our predictions, but we just wanted to touch about the retirement of two quarterbacks who've been a mainstay in this league for a very long time. In fact, both of them played for the Chargers at one point. We're talking about Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. So how does it – I mean, for me, I remember when I was younger and I first started liking football, I liked the Saints because of like obviously Drew Brees, but like when they had Joe Horn and Reggie Bush, like that was Jeremy Shockey at one point. That was a fun team. So ever since I've been watching football, Drew Brees has kind of just been a top 5 quarterback. And in the same, I remember when the Jets were decent under Rex Ryan, they always had to go through like Phillip Rivers and like LaDainian Tomlinson, Antonio Gates. So how do you feel seeing them to like Drew Brees possibly retire, but Phillip Rivers stating his intention to retire?
Well, Phillip Rivers, the Phillip Rivers one, is kind of more like over the past couple of years, I've become like like I started watching the Chargers a lot because I really like Keenan Allen. Like he became one of my favorite players in the league. So the him and Phillip Rivers connection, how fun Phillip Rivers is. They always used to throw out like every time Phillip Rivers would break a stat, they would throw up that like the stats that he's broken and the amount of kids that he has. He's just a fun, like he was just one of the fun guys in the league. Like really old veterans, for him to pull together that Colts team like that he didn't play with at all last year, the kind of chemistry they had going into this year and like the kind of winning they did. If they didn't have a star receiver like Michael Pittman Jr., they'd have been fine. They'd have been fine.
Ass. Ass.
But not yet. Also Drew Brees. Yeah, Drew Brees. I mean, shout out Rizzo if you're watching. I guess we can shout out Rizzo. That's his guy. Those are the Saints are his guys. And he's just not the same anymore. But no, Brees is also a mainstay in the NFL. The leader in passing yards in the history of NFL. Did it like for the short guy, him in like a Steve Smith kind of vein, a Mighty Mouse kind of vein, where like he wasn't the tallest of guys, like gave the chance for guys like Russell Wilson to come out and have great careers. Short guys behind those giant offensive linemen, picking apart defenses with accuracy. So both of those guys leaving is pretty tough on the NFL as a whole.
Yeah, you pretty much put it on pretty much everything I had in thought. But that's all right. But I mean, like me with Phillip Rivers though, like I always tell you guys, like I'll never forget when I went to San Diego for my cousin's training camp, and Phillip Rivers, he was like one of the first guys. Him, Antonio Gates, and I forgot who else. But they came up to all the kids over there, and they were signing autographs. Like that's something I'm never gonna forget. Like he was one of those. Like he's literally one of the first Hall of Famers I've ever seen in my life. And like it's just crazy. Like we've been watching these guys for years, and we're never gonna see them again.
Yeah, I mean, like when we're getting to that point now where we're seeing players full careers, and like I remember for me, like when Jeter retired or like Mariano retired for like the Yankees, like that was my childhood, and like I can't even imagine like what like yeah, like you said, like shout out Rizzo, like what him as a Saints fan, what like this, and like we think about it, like wow, Drew Brees is retiring, like imagine watching that team, like, and it's also like the years, especially for the years following, like when you're a fan of that team, like filling in that void, like. the Yankees were always talking about like, oh, who's gonna be the next great shortstop for the Yankees? Like, who's gonna be the next great quarterback for the Saints? Like that those are things you never forget. So yeah, congratulations to them on their retirements or potential retirements. I mean, I don't think anyone would be mad to see them back again. But
No,
now,
I think if Drew Brees came back, somebody would be upset after that last performance he put up. Somebody's gonna be bothered.
is it
Someone.
Michael Thomas?
Slant Thomas.
All right, so
Mike.
on that note,
Slanty.
Slanty. On that note, let's give you our previews for the AFC and NFC championship games. We haven't really discussed these yet, so you're hearing our opinions live and for the first time. We haven't heard each other's thoughts. We're going to give our predictions. Hopefully, I can stay on my little prediction streak. I mean, it's only 2 games, so it can't be that hard.
If we were playing this like a contest, I got 1 win, Mike got 1 win, and
Isaiah's. Let's see what he got this week.
See what I got with this week? Let me go first then. Let me go first.
Go for it.
Almost had 2 wins.
I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers to win.
Hey,
what do you do? Hot takes.
Wait.
Hot takes.
Kansas City, even without knowing what's going on with Patty Mahomes?
What is his status right now? Isn't he?
He's gonna play. I think it's just his foot isn't 100%. He's cleared concussion protocols
right,
for sure.
But they put him on the.
What is bothering him?
Yeah, they put him on the injury.
When did he clear the protocols?
He 2 days after.
He practiced today, but he just wasn't full. He wasn't a full go because of his foot. I think.
Yeah, it's his foot injury.
But they updated the injury report, and when I saw that, I thought it was like the concussion related thing, but it was just like he had like turf toe or something.
He doesn't need a foot to play though.
I mean, people were talking about like why would they even like the play he got hurt on? Like if you know he already hurt his foot, why are you running a read option? But
why are you running him at all?
But I mean, like I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're out there playing, you gotta just run your playbook.
You could play through turf toe.
No, it's not playing through, but they're saying just like it wasn't smart to put him in that position, knowing he was already kind of like hurt. But I mean,
Julio Jones plays through turf toe a lot, actually.
Julio Jones is the win. That's football, though. It's football, though. You know, I get you though, Obi. It's football. You play through those injuries. It's always after the playoffs we hear, "Oh, I was playing with my rib was torn all year long." Man, shut up. Yeah. It's football. It's football.
It was on the injury report weekly though. That's okay.
Oh my goodness.
It was
ridiculous.
All right, so predictions. Groupthink here. I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah.
So, I can't lose if Isaiah doesn't win. So I'm gonna go Chiefs and Packers. I mean,
oh my goodness.
I mean, would you guys would feel any way if the Bills beat the Chiefs, or do you not care?
He wasn't gonna let me give my prediction.
This guy's putting it all on the line. He wants to win. Go for it. The stage is all yours, Obi.
All right, man. I'm going Green Bay Packers.
The faintest drum roll and ever.
Mafia.
Obi is from upstate New York, so.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Michael Charles. Stop it.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
No, I'm kidding. I'm going to Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
what I thought. Don't bet on black, but if you can bet on half black, if you can bet on both, I would bet on both. I'd bet on half black. I ain't betting on a full black.
Especially at quarterback.
Half a black, I'll take that.
And I don't think anybody's talking about it, but Josh Allen did not have the greatest game last week. He wasn't that accurate. That's a little worrying to me. Maybe it's fatigue getting him. He's never made it this far, but.
No, yeah, it could be, but I think, I still think that Ravens defense is tough. Like they kind of just put pressure on him. Like that's what they thought going into that game. Like that's why you even thought the Ravens had a chance. It wasn't going to be Lamar Jackson running for 300 yards and scoring all the time. Yeah, the defense is going to slow them down a little bit.
And I mean, it's a good defense, but also like Kansas City, the way they play is like like Pat McAfee always says, it's like they make big plays when they need big plays. It's not like a defense that is like the stout defense is going to stop you, but when they need a turnover, they'll get a turnover. Like when they need pressure, they'll get pressure. So like Frank Clark, Chris Jones, like obviously we have
Tyrann Mathieu,
of course,
best safety in the league. I've been telling them that is the best safety in the league.
Quickly they forget.
The honey badger.
Quickly
forget who? Forget who?
You know who? You know who?
Forget who?
You
Blitz boy? Nah.
Outside
Nah,
linebacker. Outside linebacker.
Blitz boy?
2 first-round picks.
I'm not talking about Jamal Adams. I'm talking about Pittsburgh Steelers.
You talking
Minka
about Jersey boy?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
Boy?
That's what I'm talking about.
Bro, Jersey boy is second. I give him second, man. Because he don't. I don't think he can come off the blitz like Tyrann Mathieu does.
I think he does it all. First off, all I've seen on Instagram today is Tyrann Mathieu getting lit up by some
Tyrann Mathieu is shorter than Mike.
All right, bro.
Like what?
Why are we making excuses now? He's number one.
Oh.
He's number one.
Oh.
That what?
I didn't hear him, but I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, bro, the guy that lit him up was like 6'5" going up against 5'9", 5'8".
All right, man. Our picks are in. Our picks in. The picks have been made. These are the official picks. We'll leave it there.
First N-bomb on the podcast. Jesus.
Now, there's been one before. You didn't hear it.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
We're both pointing. I think so. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't remember.
Oh man. Well, luckily we're all black. So, continuing. Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson. The name that's been talked about as much as anybody in the NFL the last couple of weeks. It all started with saying he wants out of Houston. Obi, what was he at? Like a 2 or something like that? And now he's at a 10?
He's at a 2, but now I'm at a 10.
And now he's in New Jersey.
But, yeah, wait. I got something better for you. He was at the Nets game a couple days ago.
And wait, didn't he just post a picture in a New York taxi cab in a green?
Wait a minute. Let me see.
Hat?
All right, guys.
Did you hear that, Obi?
Wait,
guys.
He's hinting at the Giants. Oh, no, wait. He got Danny Dimes.
Wait, do you hear that, Obi?
Guys.
J. Wait.
E.
Oh, my goodness.
T. S. Jets.
Can I say something before we start this, please?
Go for it.
All right. Outside of Deshaun Watson and where he's going. All right. The second highest commodity behind Patrick Mahomes in the NFL, probably. Get on my Stephen A. on. He's Showtime. He's box office. All right. I don't know where he's going, but I know that Houston is going to have to get a lot for him because to lead the NFL in passing yards and do all he could for that team. All right.
You talking
wait?
No, talking draft picks? You talking draft picks or cap space?
Mike,
we got both.
The report that came up today? Should I?
No, we'll let him. Let him finish his rant.
I'm done. Actually, I'm finished. I'm actually finished.
You might as well tell them what we've heard. Inside, we're breaking news on the Shoeless Joes.
Well, breaking news is NFL front office personnel are unanimous agreement that Watson is worth at least 3 first-round picks, with several saying additional draft capital might be necessary depending on where the picks fall.
Let me think about this. You're the Houston Texans, right? You have to cut JJ Watt. You have no cap space. You have no coach. Yeah, a new GM. You got to start over. You got to rebuild.
The nigga's not going to the Jets.
And now that's the third
bomb. Third bomb.
But
I'm done. All right, bro. You're pissing me off.
But if only there was a team that had that had 5 first-round picks over the next 3 years, a couple extra thirds, and a young possible quarterback that you might.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's stop with the hypotheticals. Just say it. Just say
Deshaun Watson's going to be a New York Jet.
Yes, he is.
I'm saying it.
Put it in the universe.
Saying it. It has to be said. The Jets have never been tied to a free agent or any player in the NFL of this caliber. And
hey, Hey, it looks like his buddy that's from Jersey actually, the free agent right now from Chicago.
Keep it going. Keep it
Shout
going.
out, shout out Farouk. I know you're talking about Farouk.
I know. Oh,
Alan,
Farouk. Yeah, shout out Farouk.
A
Top,
Rob, A Rob.
top receiver, A Rob. Is
Alan Robinson.
he's liking Deshaun Watson in the Jets.
Deshaun Watson is liking Deshaun Watson and the Jets on Instagram too,
What do you know?
and his agent as well.
Wow. Wait, do you
And
guys hear
now-
that? Do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? Jinx. Just in. Breaking news. Deshaun Watson. No Jets.
But to be
You know
fair,
Ooh,
to be fair, the Jets are in the best position to go get him.
you know
it's
what's
not
the
like-
best part?
It's not like we made this one up this time.
What's the best?
What
I
is
these post about the Jets. And do you know what's attached to Deshaun Watson's contract? A no trade clause. What do you know?
Which means he can dictate where he wants to go.
Hmm.
Oh wait, did you also hear? He was frustrated with the Houston Texans because they would not bring in Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
Oh, by the way, congrats to Robert Saleh. He's the new coach of the New York Jets. You know, we got a Muslim in there. I'm not Muslim myself, but you know,
That's first
but
in NFL history. That's
I'm saying first.
Assalamu alaikum.
I mean,
Alaikum assalam.
we haven't talked about that hire, but I mean, it's a great segue. I mean,
already
the-
attracted free agents.
right. I mean, people, all the positives being said about Robert Saleh now, it's like replaces all the negatives said about Adam Gates when he was hired. I mean, everyone in San Francisco is saying how lucky the Jets are to have him. I mean, I think that you could tell throughout the season that, especially with the football guy that Joe Douglas is, he wanted a coach that can control the locker room. And we know that like the offensive head coaches are the trendy thing now. But like the Jets need somebody who can come in and control the locker room and a young team. So that hire, I mean, especially with the players they have on defense, hopefully they bring back Marcus May, Quentin Williams, Franklin Myers was having a great year, also on the interior D line. And hopefully who knows what they do with Mosley in his contract, but to have a defense like that and a coach, a leader like that, I'm happy as a Jets fan.
No, I don't see why you wouldn't be. There's no reason why you wouldn't be. No. Honestly, these are pretty good steps. I think Salah I think he's a fiery guy, a defensive-minded guy. Which when the Jets have one, besides with Broadway Joe, their MO has been defense. It serves them well. I think I don't know how far it will push them. But I think it's not a bad step. I don't know if it's the best step. That has yet to be told. But hindsight's 20/20. So I guess we'll see in a year.
I mean, this roster might look a lot different in a couple of months. I mean, on a serious note, though, like I obviously as a Jets fan,
Darker.
People want that to happen. But I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, the other packages that have been talked about are like Tua and the Dolphins, because the Dolphins have multiple firsts. So that's being talked about. I mean, San Francisco, like I get the fit. I don't understand
the
other logistics of it. Yeah. I mean, unless you just want to give up all their firsts. I mean, the thing about the Jets in this position is that like it's different when you're like a bad team and you're giving away your own first round picks for multiple years. But if you have the excess first round picks, like the thing is like you get that currency, and then everyone, like when the Jamal Adams trade happens, like, oh, the Jets can't draft anyway. Why does it matter if they have the 23rd pick? And I feel like people don't understand that draft picks are currency, and like it doesn't matter what you don't have to use it because they have value. The draft picks have in any sport have value until the team that has them uses them, and until then they're just a hypothetical that people want. So all of a sudden, if you're talking about, all right, we'll give up the second pick, we'll give up the the third pick in this draft, the 23rd pick, and then a future Seattle pick or even a future Jets pick, and then other like second and third rounders, like you still are keeping your picks or the Seattle pick. Like you still maintain that flexibility. You have cap space. Like it just makes a lot of sense. Joe Douglas doesn't strike me as the type to want to move on from that much draft capital. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I mean, this does not happen in the NFL, not with quarterbacks. It never happens. So to have a quarterback hit the market in their prime and you're in the driver's seat in terms of assets, I feel like it's I mean, Boomer and Carton. I said this to Obi, but Boomer and Carton, obviously they're not together anymore, but still Carton from Boomer and Carton. Carton was basically saying, broke on today, that the Jets have been in contact with Houston about like Deshaun Watson and his availability. So I mean, taking that first step when you're in a position like that is going to be the news from here will be very telling. I mean, this trade can't happen for a couple weeks to months, but to see how this unfolds is going to be really interesting, especially with a team that I support in the metaphorical driver's seat.
Boomer and Carton. Esiason.
But that wraps up our NFL talk.
For sure. I have no words on the Jets, bro.
I mean, I can't wait till next year when – no, I'm not doing this again because last time I got excited about it, somebody clowned me for when the media led me astray.
Not the media. You were doing your own research, and I caught you. You were doing your own research, though. You was. You was.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think we have time to refute this.
Wait, let's see what we have here. We had Steven
at NBA news
95% going to Brooklyn.
Wait. Was you not doing the research on his housing? Yes or no? On your own?
The whole internet was.
But you was doing it.
100%.
Okay.
I followed.
Yep. Wait. And you was doing the research on where he was placing his places of business to get.
I wasn't doing the research. People were doing the research, and I was repeating it out of excitement. I didn't do my own research, but I saw it.
You have direct contact.
Never mind. On to the NBA segment. The Knicks suck. On to our NBA segment.
Wait, don't they have like the same?
The Knicks suck.
Don't they have the same?
The Knicks
record?
suck.
I guess so.
Suck.
I guess so.
Okay.
Wait, didn't your favorite player lose to both New York teams and airball a 3 to the front row?
Doesn't he do that every game?
Your favorite player doesn't play. Take his jersey off the back.
That's not my favorite player.
Your favorite player doesn't play.
That's not my favorite player.
Favorite player's in Portland.
You got an account
dedicated
to him.
I do.
Really?
Check it.
Check it. You got an account dedicated to a Frenchman that don't play.
Check it. It's not for Freckney Looking. It's for the New York Knicks.
Take it off.
Take what off?
We're Frenchmen.
Remove the jersey. Remove it.
All right.
Throw it away.
Throw out the Giannis jersey so I can make a jump shot.
My man is the MVP twice. Your man doesn't play. Doesn't play.
He's not my favorite player, and you took the easy way out.
I didn't take the easy way out.
My favorite player is the MVP of the NBA.
Whoa, I called it before it happened, so don't lie. Do not lie to the people. Don't lie to the people.
People, do you believe?
People.
Put in the comments if you believe or not, because I don't. It's not really clear. To defend Giannis, it's a slander. A player who doesn't play. What are you doing? Just defend him with his own merit.
All right, can we get to the other team in New York though? Because as a podcast,
the worst one
about sports. Yes, as a podcast about sports, we have to cover.
We're not talking about the
we have to cover.
Talk about the Brooklyn.
Oh my goodness, bro!
You guys are living in the past. It's a new era. It's a new era.
I guess.
Sorry.
To you
guys are a little brother. No. To the world, you guys are a little brother.
No, but in New York City, more people are Knicks fans than Nets fans, and that's the end of it.
Bro, to the world, Brooklyn is way more iconic than whatever.
Iconic. Do you know what the word iconic means?
All right, let's stop.
That's not what iconic means.
Guys. Sorry. Brooklyn is more cultured than Madison Square.
You mean
can we stop? Can we stop?
Oh, man.
Can we get to the actual news? Actual news. These guys got to fight each other. Mike's about to take a fork and stick it in that socket right behind his head, bro.
Like the meme, the Knicks meme. The bucket hat.
Oh my goodness. All right. So since we last spoke, since our last episode, blockbuster trade goes down right after we drop. Ridiculous timing, but it happens.
It happens all the time, actually.
James Harden is now a part of the New Jersey, the New York, the Brooklyn Nets, the Borough Nets, the one singular Borough Nets. And Kyrie was still out, so we still had our questions on Kyrie, but him and Kevin Durant looked pretty good together on their own.
If only that Kyrie fellow wasn't there. It would go a lot more smooth.
Well, I mean, if you want to get into it tonight, I guess he didn't bring his sage, or they didn't allow him to put that sage out.
All right.
Cleveland
Enough
ain't
with
allowed
this. Enough with this.
I heard
Enough
Colin
with this.
Sexton had sage though, because he had 15 in the second overtime.
and 2 threes in Kyrie's mata.
How are you going to defend your Brooklyn Nets, Obi? Go for it.
One, not mine.
OB,
Relax.
OB apostrophe S.
Obi. Possessive.
Whatever. Y'all just mad because y'all little brother now. It's okay.
I guess so.
Okay.
All right, can we just get to the news, bro? This attack, this onslaught.
But James Harden looks like he's gonna take that back seat. To be honest, I think he enjoys playing point guard and creating for himself. So I think eventually they'll figure it out when they sign those vets that they need. They definitely need a big, probably sign a 3-and-D defender. I don't think they're gonna sign JR because I think JR's a little too LeBron. So he's probably just gonna wait for that Laker roster spot to open up. I saw a lot of people talking about Iman Shumpert. I really cannot see that happening. I feel like that man has a different career.
You just gotta keep making Old Spice commercials.
Whatever he's doing.
Making music too.
Tiana Trump just stopped her music career, so some income needs to come into it.
Whoa.
Oh, I said Tiana Trump. We have to edit that first of all. Tiana Taylor. Oh my God. Oh. Time out. That was a test. If you know who Tiana Trump is, bro,
click off the video.
You're weird.
Relax your mind, bro.
Close your tabs, bro.
Y'all
disgusting.
I gotta.
I hope she don't listen to this
game.
podcast,
We'll talk
bro.
after this.
I hope she don't listen to this.
I don't know how to edit, so we're just gonna keep going.
Anyway.
James Harden, Brooklyn Nets.
But yeah, Harden looked good when Kyrie was up and running. I feel like, yeah, stop. They're gonna figure it out. It's early, third game.
Just watching me. Oh.
I mean,
when a good thing goes bad, it's not the end of the world.
I just hope. I hope they don't figure it out. As a hater, I hope they continue to lose to Colin Sexton.
Sounds like a little brother to me.
I'm saying you're entitled to that opinion. I mean, but you don't speak for the masses.
You don't speak for the masses.
Nah, I do.
You really don't.
Right. I guess so.
Bro, we'll talk after the podcast on how shit is really changing. Not now.
All right. Well, okay. Let's talk about what the Nets had to give up though to get James Harden back. They had to get rid of Karis LeVert, Taurean Prince, Jared Allen, a slew of picks. What's so funny? Bro, can you ignore that, please? Can we not?
No, I was laughing at the what's left on the Nets roster. No, I'm just kidding. I was laughing at you. But I mean, they did have to give up a lot. I mean, the thing that went under the radar in this trade was like the whole Karis LeVert situation, how scary that was. And people are saying how lucky that was and how that even went. Like, because don't you have to do physicals when you get to like training camp? So how like maybe that was something new, or like that's just scary to think about. But hopefully, round of applause for Karis LeVert. Hopefully, get well soon and get back healthy and safely. Why you're not clapping, bro? You don't like Karis LeVert? Oh, he don't care because he's not a net anymore. That's why. So.
No, because I was doing something on my phone, but
it's a mess. What is going on right now?
So then the other parts of that trade, Victor Oladipo, unexpectedly was not talked about in any of these packages before. Goes to Houston. And so far in Houston, with John Wall being out, he's been playing a lot of point guard. I mean, he's on right now as we speak. And he's been playing well. And it's going into a big offseason for him, trying to make that money after he turned down his contract in Indiana.
That's actually what I was looking at.
Yeah, so to see what he does with the rest of this time, being the number one guy, I mean, him and Christian.
Hold on. Don't fool the podcast. He is not playing well. He's not playing well right now.
Oh, I'm not watching this game at all.
Oh, okay.
But he's played well previously.
He played well his first game, and that's it. He's not playing well anymore.
I mean, it's a new team. We got to give him time.
He didn't know him.
I mean, all the talk is that he wants to be in Miami, so we'll see how this season unfolds and how that would even look. But
Miami don't want him, man. Miami don't want
I mean, he turned down a lot of money to be in Houston now and not in Indiana anymore. So, I mean, he really bet on himself. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, in terms of like Harden, I mean, that's a move. That's an interesting move with the Nets. I mean, do you think that was their goal all along, or do you think that it became a situation where like they were more eager to do it with what's happening with Kyrie? Or was like, is it like an insurance policy kind of thing? Or was it like, I know it was talked about before, but did that push them to do it faster and to give up all those picks?
No, it wasn't. I wouldn't say insurance policy because if an opportunity like that comes around, you have to take it. Like airing two MVPs and a guy, perennial All Star and Kyrie Irving. Like nobody's not gonna deny that chance. You know, it might have cost them, but I feel like those are areas you can work around. If you look at uh previous championship teams, like centers, like you can pick up centers in free agency and still make it work. So,
Yeah, if you find guys who will do their job, teams like that could work, that are star heavy. My thing with that whole trade is, since they did go to Brooklyn, we never really knew who the leadership was, where the decision making was coming from. So I don't know if that's a player pushed move, um, like the players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie getting into their ear and asking for that kind of trade, or what. I know James Harden definitely forced himself out of Houston and made it apparent that he wanted to go to um, like a small amount of teams, with Brooklyn being a major player that in the beginning of the season. So, um, I mean, now that he's there, they got a lot to prove. It does seem like they all want to win, so I guess that's good. But egos can flare with those kind of guys at that star power on a team like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's going to be, all jokes aside, it's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic works and how everything goes in Brooklyn this year. Because like they're also in an interesting position where like people, like when the whole Kyrie thing was happening, people kept bringing up the fact that like Harden and KD both have opt-outs after next season, and like how that comes into play. I mean, it's way too early to talk about any of that stuff, but I mean, obviously the media is throwing that around because like it makes for interesting TV. But I mean, that is kind of reality that the Nets do have to face a little bit. But I mean, this year is going to be very interesting to see how they make it work, how they share the ball, what role people are willing to step into, and how like people like TLC and that bench step up and like people talk about the lack of depth and they're up for that challenge. So it's gonna be very interesting. Outside of players in that trade, the last NBA topic we had to talk about was just kind of like a random interesting. It's kind of like also a little bit of a sad story in a way, with Kevin Porter Jr. Because like I know it's like it's been out over the last couple of years like that he's like talked about like his like mental health and stuff after like because his dad was like shot and killed, right? Or like his dad had died. And that was a big story with him coming into the NBA in the draft, and how like that continues to weigh on him. And then he goes to Cleveland, and like last year it wasn't the production that he wanted, but then now coming to this year, what was the exact story? It was like in the Jared Allen trade, they wanted to move his locker.
They
Right?
got Jared Allen and Torian Prince. And so, I mean, full story is he had been out due to COVID protocol. So he hadn't played with the team yet. He hadn't been there with the team. So as soon as he comes back with the team, they had moved his locker to another space and put Torian Prince's locker where his was. I don't know if it was due to COVID protocols that they had his locker away from everyone, but they moved his locker and he freaked out, for them doing that for a guy who just got to the team after he had been with the team, for longer.
And I think like what happened all after that was like they brought the GM in to calm him down, and like he got even more mad when they brought the GM in. So now they're talking about trading him or cutting him.
throw food at him.
Yeah, that's what happened. They was throwing food at him. So like people talk about trading him or cutting him. I feel like the latter is going to be the option that you use, cutting him, just because like no one,
No one's gonna trade for him if
right,
it's gonna
like
get cut.
he might get a
Regardless.
chance, but like I don't think people want to bring a situation like that into their locker room, especially this early into a season like this. Like talent wise, of course, but not in terms like the.
I think there's a couple teams out there that'll take a chance on him. Your first round pick.
No, I mean like yeah, but they're not going to give up assets to do it. Like they'll sign him
Yeah.
when he gets waived. I mean, like if you're like a team with strong veteran leadership, like up top, like I mean, like the Lakers might not do it, but like with a figure like LeBron James, like the way that he can mask stuff that happens in the locker room, like you need that kind of figure, or like maybe like a Popovich in San Antonio, just like a strong leadership role. But yeah, what did you guys think about that story overall? And like the whole Kevin Porter situation, because he's one of those guys. Like we were talking about, he's just very skilled as a scorer. Like has a lot in his bag. But like, what have you thought about him as a player to this point? I guess, and what do you think he does from here?
I think it's too early to judge him as a player right now. No, it's just his rookie year. He's averaging like 10 points. I don't know how many rebounds and assists, but I know he was averaging 10 points. But yeah, it's too early to judge him right now. I mean, whatever team is gonna take him, hopefully he gets that opportunity, to show his talent again. Maybe at a higher production rate as well.
But yeah, on a team that'll give him more minutes. He's not a bad player or anything, and I mean, like I don't think we've really heard about him having like attitude issues any other time. I know he's very expressive on the court for sure, but I mean, I don't really know too much about his off the court. Let judge him on that. But I mean, definitely around other young guys where he can flourish, maybe, and get the minutes to be a player. I just hope like he can put this past him and just focus on the game. Just as a player, I think it's kind of disrespectful to move. I mean, I don't know like all the points and both sides of the story, even including the right side of the story, so it's hard to judge, but I don't think his career should end due to like a situation like this.
No, and like you said, like we haven't heard other stuff like about him before. So like if it's just like
No, we have. Yeah.
what
He was just arrested for possession charge.
Oh
That's why
yeah.
they was planning to move him. Like he wasn't supposed to be there that weekend. Like they were planning to trade him, and they was looking for a trade partner, and they thought that he'd be gone by then.
Wait, this just happened recently?
Yeah, yeah. The gun charges happened during the off season.
Oh,
I never heard about that. I heard about the one with Malik Beasley, but I never. Oh, I think I might have heard about that. Oh yeah. I do remember that.
It wasn't just guns too. I'm pretty sure there was like weed charges as well, but like, they were planning on moving him already. But whatever trade they had set up for him fell through.
after that.
Yeah, so I mean, like I guess nobody in his corner really to let him know like it's a business, Just gotta act more I feel bad because like bro, you're in this business, you're in this profession, you gotta act professional. But hopefully he learns from his mistakes.
Oh yeah, just as a person, you gotta be more responsible than to get caught up in something like that.
Yeah,
But we've seen it time and time again. Like in sports, talent usually trumps all. So he'll get another chance.
yeah maybe the Knicks will sign him.
Nah, we already had a guys who can only score, and now he's in
Really?
Iowa somewhere. I don't know, the G League draft.
What are you talking about?
Alonzo Trier.
Anyway,
Right.
thank you for listening to the Shoeless Joe's podcast.
The Knicks suck.
Could be the podcast heard around the world, and Giannis can't shoot. We appreciate you guys listening. It was definitely a funny episode. So comment which part was your favorite down below.
Be on the lookout for
Our bits.
new beginnings in 2021, man.
Yes, we when it's warmer outside and all of us are in the same location, we'll have a lot of good content for you guys outside of just podcasting.
Some dude perfect content.
Some trick shots. So on that note, thank you guys for listening. I mean, you already know socials right here, so go give that a follow.
Like at Shoeless Joe's Pod.
Like, subscribe, share it with sports fans. Comment your favorite part, like we said. And yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll have a Super Bowl preview for you guys coming up at some point because we're gonna have that lined up.
Donald Trump isn't married to Iman Shumpert.
Oh, Tiana Taylor.
Tiana Taylor. You would have remembered that, right?
I would like to resign from the Shoeless podcast. I apologize for my actions. They were wrong. I must get canceled, bro. Oh my god. All right, bro.
But,
Thanks for listening.
And because Mike
Tiana Taylor, Isaiah Taylor.
Donald Trump. Taylor, what?
Well, I'm talking about the last name Taylor. You know,
She ain't listening to this
Taylor.
episode, bro. All right, bro. Whatever.
I can't edit, so y'all see all of this, and we'll see y'all next week.